A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Of course, there's a lot to talk about on the show tonight. As we go on, we will let you in on all that we have to give to you tonight. I'm not alone on the show. As usual, my partner is with me, and he is ready to go. Okay, it does appear that Austin is not ready, but of course, he will join in as we continue to take a look at the things happening in your fast-paced, money-spinning world of sports. It's the season of the African Cup of Nations. We are doing our best to cover what's remaining of the African Cup of Nations. It's at the quarterfinal level. Matches will be played tomorrow and on Sunday. We'll take a look at those matches. A lot of mouth-watering fixtures to take a look at. For instance, a team like Gambia that has punched above its weight will take on the host Cameroon. It's going to be interesting to see. Let's pause a little and, of course, bring you into the AFCON segment. And there we will talk about all the things happening at the African Cup of Nations. All right. So it's the African Cup of Nations, and it's at the quarterfinal stage where, like I said, some interesting matches will be played, and is what looking out for. So let's just go straight into it and look at the games for Saturday. While we're doing that, Austin will join it. But first, let's see the fixtures. There you have it. Gambia will take on Cameroon, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, and Burkina Faso will take on Tunisia. One of the players in the team said they would love to win this tournament because of the things going on back home. All right, so there you have it, quarterfinal fixtures for Saturday. Let's also take a look at what's going to happen on Sunday. The fixtures for Sunday. Maybe I should just let you know what's going to happen on Sunday. Egypt to take on Morocco. Senegal will take on Equatorial Guinea. Those are the matches for Sunday. But we want to talk about these ones first, and let's allow Austin join us now as we continue this journey on the money spinning world of sports. All right, so Austin, the floor is yours. You can take it. Okay, okay. I guess I might have to be on my own for a while. We're trying to sort one or two things out. When we're done, of course, Austin is ready, seated as a matter of fact, and he will join in as we take a look at everything I've talked about. And also, at some point, I expect to be joined by Alfred Okolibe. He also will be giving us his thoughts on everything happening in the amazing world of sports. I've not even talked about the Grand Slam, but that will be when we're done with this segment. That also is happening as a matter of fact. Let's talk about it. Like Cameroon and Gambia, that's what we are looking at. Let's look at both teams. Cameroon, of course, host, and they're gradually becoming everybody's favorites. They're doing well, scoring goals. The defense is a bit shaky, but it does appear that they're sorting themselves out, and they're gradually looking like a team that could go on to win the tournament. And do not forget, they've won this tournament 4 times already, 3 times at the expense of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now they have the opportunity to make it 5. They won in 1984, they won in 1988, they won in the year 2000, they won in the year 2002. Of course, in the year 2002, they defeated Senegal in the final, 84, 88, and in the year 2000, the Super Eagles of Nigeria were their victims. And we've not been able to get back our pound of flesh in the semis. We've beaten them at the quarterfinal stage. That's at the Nations Cup in 2004, but we're yet to beat the indomitable Lions in a final at the African Cup of Nations. They're really looking good at this point. There's no team left that has won, apart from Egypt, that has won this tournament more than the Lions. The Pharaohs are the only ones that have won this tournament more But we're talking about Cameroon, and they're looking like a side that could go on and do the job. All right, let's flip quickly and take a look at Gambia. Gambia, a lot of people didn't give them any chance of doing anything in this tournament. Most football fans felt Gambia was at the tournament because it has been expanded to 24 teams, and because you have a 24-team tournament, then you start having teams like Cape Verde and Comoros getting into it. A lot of people felt, well, group stages, they will be out of it. But as it turns out, they are at the quarterfinal stage of the tournament, and it doesn't appear that they're ready to fold their hands. The boys are speaking. They're thinking of making it count. Since they're in the quarterfinal, at the quarterfinal stage, they're looking at the things that could be done. They're coming up against the host Cameroon, and they're saying, look, we have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose in the tournament. And so we'll see what happens. All right, Austin is ready. Let's get into the discussion. Greetings to you, Austin. It's nice to finally have you join in.
Body greetings to you, Yemi, and of course our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. It's always a delight to be on the show to talk sports. And Yemi, what a time to be talking about the Africa Cup of Nations. We're getting into the proper business stage now, the quarterfinals.
All right, I want to get your thoughts before we listen to one of the players, Musa Barrow. A lot has been said about him. Gambia, Cameroon tomorrow. I think the feelers we're getting from the camp of the players in Gambia is like, we have nothing to lose. Nobody expected us here anyway, and we're here. We're playing against the hosts. They have the pedigree. Everybody expects them to win. That takes the pressure off us.
That's right. I think that's the mentality they need to take into the game, because bookmakers have tagged the indomitable Lions of Cameroon as favorites, and with the way they've been playing and as host country, I don't blame the bookmakers, but we've seen upsets at this Africa Cup of Nations. It's almost impossible to predict what a match will look like until 90 minutes is played. So for the Gambian team, what a story. They should be proud of themselves for making it this far at the Africa Cup of Nations. And yeah, that's the mentality. There's nothing to lose. We'll just go out there and give our best and listen to the captain talk to his teammates saying, look, let's make history. Let's prove a point with this Africa Cup of Nations. I think they've already proven a point, but they want to take it a little bit further. And Yemi, they've also told the Confederation of African Football and Cameroon that, look, we've tested our players and everyone is fine, just so on the day of the match, people will come up with, antics that might just, touch the team. So for Gambia, I totally agree that there's nothing to lose. Just go out there and give your best, and you never know. This is football where anything can happen.
All right. I thought the COVID issue was off limits to us, but now that you brought it up, we'll talk about it. But first, let's listen to Musa Barrow talk about the fact that Gambia really has nothing to fear.
It's not going to be an easy game, but like as a player, you look forward to this kind of competition, bigger games, bigger games. So you have nothing to lose. They have something to lose because they are the host nation, If they lose, it's going to be something like a big disaster for them. But for us, we have nothing to lose because no one thought we would reach this stage in this competition. So we are underdogs, No one thought we were going to reach this stage, but like I said, we have good players in our team, But the coach is good, also. He's trying to build this team, young players also with matured players together, trying to find a shape, for this team. And as you can see, the way we play, we found our own way to play, Before, we attack a lot and we lose so many games. But now we defend together, we attack together, we win together, we lose together. So the togetherness is in this team, the bond is so strong. That's why that's helping us to win every game, Like as a small nation like Gambia, we love football. People learn football from the street, So coming to this AFCON, reaching this stage is a big improvement, and it's going to take the Gambian name to higher heights, People should start to recommend Gambia as a nation that have good players, It's a good thing for. During the qualification, other players, they played better than me. So even if you're a big player, you have to earn the position. You have to give everything. So that is what I did, and doing this preparation before the AFCON, I trained hard. I trained a lot hard. in order to help this nation, because it's the first time in the AFCON. Who knows when we're coming back again? So I have to live this dream, I have to enjoy this moment. So that is what I'm doing.
All right. Musa Barrow says if you're a big player, you have to show it on the field and your place. And that's what he's been trying to do. And look, these guys have surpassed all expectations. And it does appear they still feel they have a chance against the indomitable Lions.
I think they do, Yemi. They really do have a chance because they've got the right mentality going on. Debutants already in the quarterfinals. And if you check the way they've been fighting and fighting, for instance, check their final group match against Tunisia. They kept pushing and pushing. They were actually avoiding the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and they went on to win that one in the dying stage of the game. So with Gambia, it's all about, can we do the impossible? Can we keep believing? Can we just keep pushing? And that's why I'm saying, look, Cameroon shouldn't blink. We saw Cameroon blink against Cape Verde, and they almost paid for it. They've conceded in every match. This Gambian team, with the sort of mentality that they have, they can stun any team, So, look, Musa Barrow said it. If you don't know Gambia before this AFCON, now you know them. And you know they are a team that you cannot underrate in African football anymore. So this is a fantastic AFCON experience for them. They have nothing to lose. I totally agree. And then when they go out there tomorrow, I know they are going to give everything that they have on that pitch. And well, we're saying at this AFCON, you dare not start acting like you know football so you don't get stunned.
Yeah, sure. I agree with you. Let's listen to the coach of the team, Tom Saintfiet. He has his history with Nigeria. We all know him. We remember the little spat he had with late Stephen Keshi. And at some point, he appeared like we were going to employ him for the Super Eagles. We didn't get around to doing that. But he's doing big things with Gambia now. And, of course, he's sharing his thoughts ahead of that big game. Let's listen to the coach of Gambia, Tom Saintfiet, talking about the game against Cameroon.
Possible. But Cameroon gonna play power play. Tomorrow the first 30 minutes gonna be, sorry for my words, gonna be a hell for us. 40,000 people will shout Cameroon ahead and they will press and press and press. We are prepared for that. We know that. The players, I told them already. The first half gonna be trying to survive. And if our Titanic doesn't sink in the first half, then we have small speedboats to make the difference in the second half.
I like that. If our Titanic does not sink in the first half, of course, we have small boats to get us across. But he is expecting the Cameroonians to lay siege on them. He is expecting them to come all out and try to get something in the first half. Because when you play against these teams, you do not score in the first 30, 35 minutes. The confidence grows. Then an upset is in the making.
True, and why they're doing that, because if you check, Saintfiet is doing a little bit of mind game here, so that Cameroon will say, okay, he has said this, let's go this way, So the action has even started even before, they get on the pitch, and that's why I said at the quarterfinal stage, it's proper business. So we'll get to see, but then he knows that it is going to be a soaked game for Gambia. They will be under so much pressure. They would need to try to contain that firing power of the Cameroonians going forward. Vincent Abubakar is in a fantastic form. The entire Cameroon will come out. And he said that they will be screaming Cameroon, Cameroon. And hopefully the Gambian team won't sink. For a team that is ranked 150 in the world, Comoros is ranked 152. So just try and imagine where Gambia was before this AFCON and where they are at the moment. They should be super duper proud of themselves. Tom Saintfiet, Musa Barrow and his teammates, and maybe the Gambian Football Association. And when you perform this way, all you need to do is make sure that you sustain the momentum, take it to the next level, so that this respect that you've given to yourself, that you've earned, will be maintained.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, let's talk about something that appears to be like a conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy theory because none of us can prove it, but it's happening too often. and eyebrows are being raised. The issue of teams facing Cameroon players coming down with COVID positives, and nothing happens to the guys on the Cameroon side. And now you just talked about Gambia saying, we've done our test. We know it, so you don't come.
That's right.
It's a funny side of the AFCON, really.
It is, and these are the little things we need to fix in African football so that people will know that we mean business in terms of management and administration. A lot of questions as regards the Cameroonian team. How come they are always ready? How come there's never a problem? And then when it's their opponents, we get this and that. Yes, it's a problem, but do they have a case? Maybe. If they're fit, they are fit. If they're not testing positive for COVID-19, then they're not. Then they're just being fortunate. But if there is an undertone, if there are manipulations, then that's when we have a problem. But I trust, in a way, I say trust. I believe in the leadership of Patrice Motsepe and this Confederation of African Football. You listen to the way he addressed the Stampede issue. You listen to the ways we're talking about creating a business environment for football in Africa. That you could tell they mean business. And with this sort of thing, see the way they even handle the issue of the Zambian referee. So when we're hearing these sort of things, I expect the Confederation of African Football to now take a stand, be very thorough with Cameroon so people will not accuse them of being biased, because we know this favoritism for host countries. You don't want it to mar the quality of the AFCON. Yeah, but Gambia, I like what they did. They said, look, we've done our test. Everyone is fine. Don't come up tomorrow and tell us that this person has tested positive and all of that. Tunisia suffered the same thing with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. More than half of the team suffered COVID-19, and they still went on to beat Nigeria. So at the end of the day, the team that stays focused, keep eyes on the prize, go out there, play spirited football, might just make it to the semis.
Yeah, and we're saying all of this because, when you go through the headlines in the Western media, a lot of the negatives are the things grabbing the headlines, and we don't want the Nations Cup to end and something begins to call to question the integrity of the tournament. So I agree with you that CAF needs to not questioning Cameroon, but be sure that all of these things, they're working together with the LOC. It's not, they're not running the show 100%, but they need to be sure that, look, if whatever results are coming out, they are, 100%. Before we go to break, Austin, let's quickly take a look at what's going to happen also tomorrow. The Stallions of Burkina Faso against the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. Some people are here to recover from the hangover. They're like, oh, Nigeria should be the one here, but we're professionals, so we don't think that way. But quickly before we go on a break, what's going to happen tomorrow? What do you think is going to want it more?
That's another tricky tie, and if you check the way both teams made it to the quarterfinals, the both sides want it. So football will give us the winner. Burkina Faso had to fight to get to this stage. Tunisia had to super fight to get to this stage. We created an upset by taking Nigeria, the best team from the group stage, out of the competition. So I've said it that with this AFCON, I don't know football here, because when you try to talk, you get stunned. But with the way Burkina Faso have been playing, in fact, not just with this AFCON, they've been trying to say, look, we deserve some respect on the continent. I was warning people about Burkina Faso. The last qualifying game they played against the defending champions Algeria, they held Algeria to a 2-2 draw at home in Algiers. So this is a team that you can't just underrate them. You can't be complacent against Burkina Faso. And I think Tunisia, they've learned a good lesson from the group stage. They struggled to finish third in that group and won the first match they played against Mauritania. They couldn't even beat Gambia. So I think they know what it means now not to be complacent. So they cannot afford to be that against Burkina Faso. But if you ask me who's going to go on to win this one, truly, I don't know, because we've always said at the AFCON, you're not going to blame me, Yemi. So let the best team win. Both sides have done enough to reach the quarterfinal. So football will give us the winner.
Hope it does, hopefully. that's going to be the case. Austin, I know you're ready from your end. Let's just quickly bring the viewers into what we're doing so that we can take some of their messages. Just in case you join us for the first time and you're wondering how you can be a part of the show, this is what you need to do. Get across to us on Twitter, send us a mail. Of course, Sports Tonight at channelstv.com. You can send us a mail on Facebook, on Twitter, channels_sports, and on Facebook. You can also drop your comments on channels iPhone Sports. Speak to us, and you will be heard across the globe. Let's talk about all the interesting things happening in the world of sports, especially the African Cup of Nations. And we'll reserve some time towards the end of the show to read your comments and, of course, fill your pores on what is currently going on in Cameroon and what is happening in the other parts of the world as regards sports. So that's it. Get across to us on those platforms and let's know what you are thinking about at this moment. All right, let's move on the show. Of course, we want to quickly talk about the things that will happen on Sunday. On Sunday, two North African rivals will play against each other. And there's always been fond memories for me watching these two sides. Talk about Egypt and Morocco. I could cast my mind back to 1998, where a Yusuf Hadji scissors kick was enough for the Atlas Lions to defeat the Pharaohs of Egypt. Very interesting matches that I've seen between both sides, and I'm very sure we will not be disappointed on Sunday when these two sides meet. And Senegal against Equatorial Guinea as well. Two sides that have not really lit up the space, but have got the job done. Both sides not really caught anybody's fancy, but they are in the quarterfinal on the strength of what they've been able to do. And Austin, you can take us through what we have on the screen, the head-to-head between Egypt and Morocco.
I know, I mean, and if you take a look at that head-to-head, to some point, it's pretty tight. And when these two North African giants, meet, I think it's the ground that suffers. But I just want to see good football between Morocco and Egypt. It's quite unfortunate that they are meeting at this stage because they would have fancied their chances to maybe make it to the semis or even the finals. But it is what it is. Football has brought both sides together. And walk me through the head-to-head, Yemi, so our viewers will get to know.
All right, 27 games played between both sides. You have Egypt has won 3 times. Morocco has won 13. And between them, they have 11 draws. Always very close between these two sides. You remember in 1998, of course, Egypt lost to Morocco at the group stage, but they still went on to win the tournament. But as this tournament is, if they lose, they're out. So one of the teams have to win. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, there's still so much for you on Sports Tonight. Join us again. All right, welcome back. We're still on the matter. We're talking about the African Cup of Nations. Matches to be played tomorrow and on Sunday. Interesting matches to look forward to. Let me bring Alfred Okolime into all we're doing on the show tonight. Good to see you, Alfred. Thanks for finding out time to be with us. It's a good time to have you. We're talking about the African Cup of Nations.
A very good evening to you. Me, of course, to the listener out there. A very good evening to the viewer. I beg your pardon. A very good evening to you. Excited to be here. It's the AFCON, an AFCON that is like no other. An AFCON that you find underdogs making progress and everybody just and the top guns exiting the tournament. Not something you see usually, but I think this is an AFCON that African football will hold its head high to say that I think across the country, football is beginning to develop. And it's going to be tighter out there, going forward. But it is what it is. If you're well prepared, you get due result for the kind of preparation that you put in. And if you take your eyes off the ball, you get the treatment that Nigeria has gotten so far. That's exiting the tournament.
All right. Okay. We've gone quite far before you joined in, so I think it's only fair that I allow you to take a look at the fixtures and you make your comment. Then I'll pass the baton to Austin, who's also we're doing this together. There you have it on your screen. Just some quick comments on what you have on your screen. Gambia, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, and Tunisia. Those matches will play tomorrow. Quick one on these two.
I think Gambia for debutant against a Cameroonian team that we've seen so far. I don't think that Cameroonian team has really, for me particularly, that's not impressed me. For the Gambian team, with Sanfe, who at some point there is this talk about coaching Nigeria, he's really bringing out the best in this team, and I think they've done well. I'm looking forward to particularly good encounter. Of course, the hosts are clear favorites for this one, and everybody, people were rooting for them. For the Burkina Faso and Tunisia game, it's one that but the Nigerians, I mean, for Nigerian fans, they'll be saying, okay, Tunisia dumped us out of the competition. But I think Burkina Faso has its work cut out. For this set of young Burkinabe players, I think they have history on their side. Their country is in somewhat of, I don't want to call it turmoil, but there's a military takeover. And so for these guys here, it is something that for them, maybe make a statement. Yes, politics and football don't mix, but somehow the politics control the football sometimes. And so it will be playing at the back of their mind. Perhaps they don't want to go home early because of the uncertainty in their country. They want to go as far as they can and they can go. And they are West African teams against the Tunisian team that did the business against us. Now I want to see this Tunisian team, whether they able to, shackle the likes of Bertrand Traore and the rest of them who are in that team, like what they did to Nigeria in the second round game. Let's see if they can replicate that against this Burkina team. They just showed us what they can do, and we didn't have a plan B. That accounted for Isaac for the tournament. So the Burkina had their work cut out. I'm particularly looking forward to this game. That's for tomorrow. But hey, who would want to talk about that Morocco versus Egypt game?
Yeah.
This is one game that everybody wants to see. I think it's the tie of the round, and it's a game everybody wants to see. Mohamed Salah and his Elneny and others, of course, coming with big names. But there is certain Hakimi in that Moroccan team. That free kick that is called against Malawi just puts it out there that this is two of the teams that you really want to see. That for the purists of the game. We want to see them and see how they, of course, we know that there's no love lost between both teams, and we want to particularly see how they will play out in this round of the competition.
All right. What about Senegal and Equatorial Guinea? Let's play a thought for both sides as well.
Senegal had to take all of 3 games, over 3 games, or is it the 4th game that they scored from open play? It is a Senegalese team that is not scoring. Sadio Mane got a knock in the last game. I mean, the national team was getting sticks from everybody. Why allow Sadio Mane to continue the game after that knock? He is their talisman. He's the one that get the result for them. And so for Senegal, they were finalists the last time out. They want to go one better. Of course, they are the bookmakers' favorite to progress beyond Equatorial Guinea. But Equatorial Guinea, one thing that impressed me with is that from when they made their debut, when they hosted the competition, they've always reached the quarterfinal stage, and they've achieved that, that feat this time around. So they are not, you can't say they are in uncharted territories. They've been here before. They've made their mistakes in time past, and they want to go one better. So, I mean, Senegal has their work cut out. So perhaps maybe the law of supporting the underdogs. I have a bit of sympathy for Equatorial Guinea. So I'm hoping that they win.
Okay, all right. Let me just pass the message to Austin. I don't know if there's anything left to say. We've exhausted everything, but I'm very sure Austin has 18 or 2, especially when you start talking about underdogs.
I know, I love oddity, and I was a big advocate of this 24-team format. And after 24 teams started, 8 remaining now, and we have 2 underdogs. In fact, 3 to an extent. It's Gambia, Burkina Faso, and Equatorial Guinea. And that's the beauty of this AFCON, because it is going to motivate other teams such as Comoros didn't even have a bad AFCON. Even to an extent, Sierra Leone, even to an extent, Zimbabwe. And this is how development starts. So they'll go back home now and find ways to consolidate. So this is beautiful for African football. And look, this is what we're talking about. And to an extent, if you tie it to this biennial FIFA World Cup that FIFA and some ex-internationals are pushing for, it's so we get to see small teams that never, ever thought they could make it to the World Cup come to the World Cup and give us this sort of story. Gracious goodness, Gambia for the first time in the quarterfinals. It's so beautiful to talk about such a story. Equatorial Guinea, same thing. Just imagine if Equatorial Guinea can upset Senegal. That will go on for a very long time. You know, is there any way Ghana would not want to take off that terrible record out of their history that Comoros recorded their first AFCON win over the Black Stars of Ghana? It's beautiful. They would never, ever, Comoros would never have thought that a time will come in their footballing history that they will beat Ghana at the AFCON. So that's the beauty of it, when we have these underdogs, you know, come and, you know, and stun analysts such as Alfred Okoligwe. And even to an extent, too, when we come out and act like we know football, our football say, hey, just shut up.
All right, so I guess we'll have to leave it at that for now. We're going to end the segment right about now, unless something that will bring us back to the AFCON happens, and I doubt that. So let's take a breather, let's pause, gather our thoughts, you know, and come back after this and talk about other things happening in your fast-paced, money-spinning world of sports. All right, so let's come home now and talk about the Nigerian Professional Football League. We're going to see matches on Saturday and on Sunday. And it's so good we have Alfred with us. He's going to take us through what we have on the screen. Without wasting much of the time, Alfred, you already see what is on your screen. Let's deal with Saturday first. And we have 4 matches for Saturday. Your thoughts on this one? I appreciate if you can be quick as you can.
Games of this weekend, MFM versus Shooting Stars, that's for me the tie of the tournament. 2 teams that are struggling in the league. Shooting got a win the last time at Kwara United, their last game over Kwara United. They will be coming to Lagos. They expect a packed house at the Teslim Balogun Stadium. Plateau United is another team, started very well, but some setback for them a few times. Abia Warriors lost to Remo Stars, went back to only manage the draw against Dakar, so they were looking to fight back. But this time around against Fidelis Imechukwu's team on the road for Remo Stars. Now, this is the team of for the season so far. I think plenty respect for them for pulling a draw against Rangers International in Enugu. I never thought they could have achieved that. They've gone 8 games unbeaten. 2 teams against Rivers United are also gone unbeaten this season. So that record is on the line. Whether Remo Stars will go one better over Rivers United is I wait to see that. But is really downplaying the potentials of these guys. They are just new boys. They are just coming to the league. Their main target is to avoid relegation. Hey, you guys are top of the league, 18 points, tied with Rivers United. So this is the battle of the 2 table toppers. For Wiki Tourists, good result, managed to pick points at home. On the road, a bit of a struggle against Nasarawa United. That's one good team this season. Managed to keep 1 or 2 of their players, but I think Nasarawa United have shown, especially that win against they had against Katsina United, impressive win for them.
Okay, let me just quickly read out the ones for Sunday. You have on your screen Aba taking on Katsina United, Heartline taking on Caterpillars, Niger Tornadoes taking on Aqua United, Sunshine Stars will be up against Lobby Stars, Dakar will be up against Rangers, Kwara United up against Gombe. Seen all of these pictures. After, if you were going to tell somebody who's interested in watching an NPFL game or 2, maybe 1 or 2, where are the venues you would say, go to this place, I assure you, you're going to see the best of football?
Straight off my head, Teslim Balogun Stadium, MFM versus Shooting Stars. For shooting, I mean, the sentiments around Shooting Stars is one that you look at them as one of the traditional teams in the MPFL. Come back, they didn't start too well. Got their first win of the season over Kwara United. In fact, they had to dig deep, come back from that. And the post-match interview, Coach Edith Agoye was saying something like, all of the travails that they've had is some of the things that great teams pass through. And now that the boys have understood how to navigate that kind of poor results, that from here they'll just kick in. So coming to Lagos against an MFM team that is really struggling, it's one that you want to see beautiful football. How do you react playing in Lagos? Shooting in time past always find a way of getting results in Lagos because, of course, the fan base that they have in Lagos is there. So you expect the fans to come out to see how they play. But for me, the tie of the clash is Remo Stars Rivers United game. Rivers United, their last away game was against MFM. I saw that game at the Teslim Balogun Stadium. They ran out 3-0 winners. And they have a certain Ishak in that team. He's gone in 8 games. He scored like 6 or 7 goals. He's really the man to watch. And interestingly for him, he doesn't play as the top striker. Somehow he hangs on the wings. And before you know it, he finds himself in the box and gets the goal. So it will be interesting to see if Ishak gets another goal for Rivers United. But if you know that remote team, I've seen a couple of their games. This is like 2-3 of their games this season. Hey, somebody like Dayo is rolling back the years. He is, according to Coach Bengo Gumbote, he's the leader of that team. He's not the captain, but I mean, you playing for teams like Sunshine Stars, AMA Internationals on the continent, playing in the Chan team, in the national team, and the rest of them, it comes with back of experience. And if you look at the way he plays in that team, he's really at the center of every good thing that happens to that Remo Stars team. You know, the experience he provides, and of course, these young guys that can run the sorts of just makes it for interesting. Rivers United have lots and lots of experienced players in that pool, so we'll see how it goes. They are the 2 top flyers, first and second. So I think it will be an interesting clash in Ghana.
All right. So that's it for the Nigerian Professional Football League. Let me allow Austin. We're going on a break in a minute or two, but I'm very sure Austin has something to say about the league, and he's going to take us through the Australian Open as well. Some of his predictions right on the money. But Austin, your thoughts, and probably you can take us to the break after a minute or two. Just take us to the break. But your thoughts on the local league?
Yeah. I think Alfred did a good job. I'm also looking forward to the Remo Rivers United game. And I mean, who would have thought that after match day 8, we'll be talking about the league season being this competitive, you know? So Remo Stars, shout out to the management. And look, it's a clear testament of what you reap. You will sow what you sow, you reap. Because if you take a look at Remo Stars and all that they're enjoying, it's a product of functional leadership, good management. And everyone that I've been to Ikene have come back to say good things about the facilities that they have there, the welfare of the players. And that's enough motivation. I remember when I spoke to Coach Benga Ogumbote, I said the moment he got to the club, he was motivated to do something different. And they're doing something different, actually, with the team. So I'd like to see how they will hold off this Rivers United team that is buzzing and beaming with so much confidence, going away, getting points. No one at the top of the league table. That's a team that also needs to repay the Rivers State government for all of the support that they've given to them. Aimba, always in that corner saying, look, if you guys blink, if you sleep, then we will pounce on you. So that aim-back game should also get us talking. You would think that it's going to be an easy ride against Katsina United, but hey, this is the Nigeria Professional Football League, so you got to be careful about what you talk about. You know, I will also like to see what Aqua United can do when they travel to Niger Tornadoes. That's not really been a good start for the promise keepers, but as defending champions, they need to show that they can compete and maybe go on to defend their title. But so far, it's been fantastic in the MPFL, and match day 9 will definitely get us talking in sports tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, it's Rafa Nadal in the final of the Australian Open. Can he push aside Daniil Medvedev? Alfred will tell us when we'll come back. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back to Sports Tonight on your award-winning sports-loving channels television. We're taking a look at what's going on in our world of sports. And don't forget, you can be part of the program. Yemi told you earlier, but I'll tell you again. You can send us a message. Email is sportstonight@channelstv.com. Or go to Twitter. We're still excited that Twitter is back. Well, on Twitter, we are channels_sports, the verified Twitter handle. I will do nothing but talk sports there. Let's talk about this year's Australian Open. Before it came, we saw drama, serious drama with Novak Djokovic and the Australian Open and the Australian government, but we're happy that now the final is upon us. Rafael Nadal gone in for a 21st Grand Slam title. And if he
and that was one medal I really wanted to get. He won a Grand Slam title last season and wants to add another one. So those kind of players are very dangerous. And when you come to the people I like to refer to as the second tier of the men's game in the ATP, when you remove the big three, Berrettini is top of that list. The likes of Tsitsipas and the rest of the guys, all trying to Schwarzman and the rest of them. They are just part of that second group who are trying to win a Grand Slam. I think Medvedev is just top of that. I think he will be a very, very dangerous customer. And Nadal will have to dig deep to win this one if he really wants it. The way he's playing and prancing around earlier, when he won the semi-final game, he ended up back again in the gym. It tells you the level of work these guys are putting in and to be top shape. And so my heart says Nadal, but Berrettini can just come out a different proposition altogether. And all of the people who want Nadal to be, they just fighting and licking their own. Of course, for Nadal people, very unfortunate that he's not part of this one. But it is what it is. If it just tells you or shows the direction the world is heading to, and once you're not part of it, that is what it is. You're not part of the competition, and the guys who are there playing and doing the business.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And if you see the way Nadal is pumped up for it, maybe if we could just see the final rally in that semi-final match against Matteo Berrettini, when he won that one, the fist in the air, his energy tells you that he's super excited to be in the final. And Yemi, maybe that's the sort of attitude he needs to get into the final with Medvedev and probably clinch the title. Yeah, they love him. They love him so much in Melbourne. He has won most of his Grand Slam titles at the Australian Open. But it's very difficult to blame Djokovic in all of this, But it is what it is. The show has been on, and then we're going to have the final soon. And Djokovic will only wish the winner all the best. But I'm sure he knows who he wants to win here. Me and Alfred, I don't think he wants anybody to break that record before him.
Yes, I agree. Even though we're not going to have much time to talk about it, I've been told we have to leave the studio. But I agree.
True.
It would rather Daniel wins this, and I'm very sure somewhere in his mind he will say, "Why don't I just take this vaccine before Rafael Nadal gets this 21?" I'm very sure.
I know. I know. It's all good. It's all good.
I know tennis fans are divided in this. It's like the Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo argument. You have those who are rooting for one person or the other, but hey, these guys are great tennis players. And the argument of who is the GOAT in tennis will surface at some point. I'm sure that for Novak Djokovic, he will be licking his wounds. How did I allow this slip through my hands? Because in Australia, you're sure that he's going to win. He's going to win and win big. Somehow he finds a way of winning in Australia. Most of his slam titles were won in Australia. And so now, I think for Nadal, he has his skills up. Now this man is not here. Let me do the business now.
Maybe he was even energized because the man is not around. Alfred, I want to thank you for your time. I wish I had more time, but this is how we have to wrap things up. I want to thank you for finding out time to be with us today. We'll do this again some other time.
My pleasure always, Yemi. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, that's the show today. It's fun doing this with you. We had to stop ourselves because we could continue for the next 1 hour, but we have to get out of the studio. That's the show. Thanks for allowing us into your living rooms without knocking. We'll be here again next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
Always a delight to come here to talk sports here. Hopefully the next time I'll join you, it will be right there in Yaoundé, where we'll bring all the action going on at the Africa Cup of Nations. From the nation's capital in Abuja, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.